call the meeting to order. It is 6:02 p.m.
And I'll do the roll call. Amanda,
Here.
Tim,
Here.
Julia,
Here.
and Cherie.
Here.
And Jessica is absent at the moment. And I'm Corey Burkle, and our student commissioner position is still open.
Great. We will move to accept the consent calendar.
I make a motion that we accept the consent calendar as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then any public comments?
No public comments.
And then moving on to current library narratives.
One thing I'll say on current library narratives is that I was expecting an accumulation of months and months of pages that I could read through.
I
And
know.
these are really, really lovely. For some reason, I was hoping for like a book of them.
Right.
Because they're so good.
Well, and I was a little bit surprised when I saw how few those were. And also I thought, oh yes, that's right. It's our busiest time of year. So people are not writing things down as much as they otherwise are fairly good about. So,
These are also
but they are
these are
lovely.
lovely.
Yes.
Great. Moving on to reports. Library Foundation report.
We have not met since our last.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't met since our last meeting. We have Library Foundation has a September meeting, beginning of September-ish.
Library director's report.
I have so much for you
Yeah.
that I have a whole presentation, and I should have started this presentation already to share my screen. Julia, I'm going to bring that up. And share. And Julia, can you see the presentation?
Yes, I can.
Yay. All right. Library Advisory Board meeting. Library use report, we've already gone over, so I'm just skipping past that. And library narratives, I've got a great picture of our our young teen volunteers who were so fantastic this summer. We had lots of a great response from the public for that too. So for the director's report, that's starting with the pictures with bricks that you have. So we have needed repairs to the bricks in the front of the library for quite some time, as you might have noticed when you came down them. There are several of them that are failing, and there's several of them that have been sort of put back in a very not professional way. And all of that needs to change. So the areas that I have on the pictures here are, with one exception, which is on the side of the street with Wine Country Antiques. There are some bricks in the sidewalk over there as well, next to the drop box, and those will also be taken out. But the bricks in the middle of the street will not be taken out until next year when we repave this road that looks like a parking lot, but it's actually a road. So everything has happened pretty quickly. Will is in charge of that project along with Brian Kershaw from the city. Brian's been great to work with. I worked with him during the children's room remodel back in the early 2000s or 2014 or something like that. So I know him a bit from there. He's really great to work with, and I'm excited that everything is coming along. So we have a big plan. And our big plan is we're going to be closed. The repairs will take probably about a month, and we will be closed for only the first week of that. And that is to give us a chance to kind of settle in, but also we have a ton of projects inside that need attention as well, and that gives us a good opportunity to do that as well. The beginning of September is usually one of our slowest parts of the year because when people are getting back into the groove of school, they're usually not adventuring to the library until kind of like mid to late September. Then we start getting really busy again. And then in October, when there's the first teacher parent meetings, we get a flood again. So that's what we're used to. I've got a long list of what we are going to be working on during the closure just that week. And I'm really hoping we'll be able to get everything done, but also realize that there's quite a bit on this list and that might not all happen. So if it can't, so I do have a priority list of things that have to get done while we're closed and things that can get done when we are open as well. And then we have Serve Day George Fox students coming the week after. So if there's some things we need help finishing up, we can also do it at that time. We have some professional entities coming in as well. Lewis Audio Video is doing the installation of the new projector and pieces for the meeting room. So that's exciting for us there. We're almost sure that the new shelving panels that have been ordered for the Carnegie Room with Library Friends money are going to be here and be installed that week. The books don't have to come off the shelves, so it could be done at another time, but this would be ideal. We are also doing some reorganizing first in the Spanish area of the library. So if you have been up there, there's a shorter red shelving unit, and but we need more space. So we were able to get for free from I can't remember which library it was down on the coast. But it was just come and pick it up and then you can have it for free. So we got shelving that matches our other shelving, but it will be much taller. So it will give more room there as well. And then the red shelves are needed in children's. And so they have a reorganization going on for that as well. So that it'll all be good, but we do have to do that while we're closed. The remainder parts of the carpet that are being installed are going to be done on the Monday, the September 8th, I think, before we reopen to the public. So we're looking forward to that, but it also gives us a chance to get everything then moved out of those spaces, but not moved very far. So then we can just put everything back pretty quickly. So that will be great. We're having a couple areas professionally painted. We've done library staff, Cynthia and Audrey Smith, repainted this. It looks so nice. The wall was pretty nicked and damaged. So actually I called my dad because he's really good at fixing stuff like that. And I was like, do you have a couple hours this afternoon to come and patch this up so we can paint it? And he did a great job. And then they also painted the storage room. I'm afraid to say it was very bright green, and also that was my fault because when we were doing our children's library remodel, the children's library was in this room and that closet was Mary Lynn and my office. And I wanted something that was nice and bright. It was a little much. So I've been teased about it for 13 years. So they took the opportunity to repaint that white. So it does look, I will say, better. We also have some other things that are getting painted. Bottom line is staff have done quite a bit of painting, but we can't do the really high stuff. So that's where we're hiring a professional painter to come in and do the really high ceiling parts that staff are not able to do. So, and then before we reopen to the public, we will be setting up a desk in the north end of the library, which is, so the doors during the workout here at the front doors we currently use. The front doors we'll be using instead for a month are the north doors that face the Cultural Center. So because of that, we needed a public desk that was closer to the doors. Also because the doors, they don't have they're not handicap accessible. So they have to stay open the whole time that we're open as well. So staff will be able to monitor that a little bit better.
That new ramp looks great.
It does. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really happy about that. So So yeah, that had to get done before we could do this. So it's just kind of a domino effect that we're
With
working
the
on.
repairs, was there any, I know there was talk about maybe totally redoing our entrance or of that. Are you guys now looking for that north side as maybe the
Oh, that's a
new
good question.
entrance?
No, we're not.
Okay.
But what we are doing is, so we're not totally redoing the front. We're just taking out the bricks so we can put something in there that's not slick. But what we also found out was that although the ramp was to the ADA specifics. Hello?
Hey, what are you gonna do with all the bricks that have people's names from donations?
Julia,
She was already on
Julia, here is the deal. I don't know. Also, the bricks have been there for 40 years. So and many of them you cannot read any longer. The ones that are out there because people have been walking on those ones. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with those bricks. We're going to save the ones we can that have people's names on them. And I'll have to figure something out.
Do you have a record of everyone who donated? Could
So-
you make like a framed something about and have their names on it or
Yeah,
something?
we could do that.
Or
I also I guess part of me is also like it was a donation that's 40 years old now. So I kind of feel like if we can find a way to save them, and especially if somebody knows their brick is here and wants to get it,
sure.
Sell it back to them. Sell it to
Yeah.
the library.
Did you hear
Another
Tim?
fundraiser opportunity. Yeah.
Ching, ching.
Yeah. They did
So-
it once, do it again.
Well, if you move to the back building, then you have to move the entrance piece for scanning and stuff.
So we cannot move those. So it will be that for about a month, if something doesn't get checked out correctly, or if somebody's trying to steal, but most of the time it's people accidentally not checking them out properly, we will not know that. So that is just,
Small period.
it's a small period of time. So yeah. Julia, did that sort of answer your question?
Yes, I get it. I was just curious because I saw him the other day and thought about the whole closing and went, well, what are we gonna do with all of these?
Yeah.
So the same format or the same format of the stairs and the ramp is the same?
So the footprint is the same, but the ramp, I'm actually really excited about this piece. So while it was ADA accessible per standards in 1986,
Yeah.
it is not today,
Okay.
which is not surprising when you look at how steep that thing is.
Right.
So I'm very happy that we will actually be able to make that currently ADA accessible. So that is, I mean, it's not okay if somebody in a wheelchair can't get up it themselves. Like, it's just not, that's not good. So very happy that that's getting redone. Yeah. Any other questions about, let me see what I've got next on I've got summer reading wrap up next. So any questions about all of the many things that are going on here? Julia, actually, I'm sure we will be contacting you. You're on our volunteer list of people that can, because since you offered to help while we were closed.
I'm looking forward to doing whatever wonderful thing Audrey wants me to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so summer reading ended and we had a great summer reading program. I know that we had more people this year, but I also forgot to go get the stats from last year so I could be more specific about that with you. I've got the adult summer reading statistics, which is 472 patrons registered. There were 5,292 entries. Jessica did such a fabulous job. She did such a fabulous job with the adult summer reading program. it was really a lot of fun. People loved. We had she had weekly quizzes this time, and there were prizes to hand out with those, and people were very into that. She also brought back the spice kits, which are super popular. There were almost 500 of those. She has 81 adult summer reading prizes to give out. We also did a passport to the Little Free Libraries in Newburgh and maybe one in Dundee. And that was mostly a success. We did have one little free library, and they were contacted ahead of time and agreed to do this and everything. But we did have one little free library who, I don't really know what happened, but they took their little free library down. So that was a little puzzling for people because it was already on the list that went out to everybody. So there's that. We had our CCRLS road trip again. We had just very few participants on that. We did have many more last year, but I feel like a lot of people were like, well, once was enough, or maybe they did it but didn't turn it in. So, and that's a CCRLS wide program. It's really not a lot of work for us. For the teen program, we had 270 registered, 119 finished, which means they turned in at least one entry. For entries, there were 5,723 entries. And we had 53 active Teen Service Club members that helped us by volunteering this summer to sign people up for summer reading and then give people new reading logs and prizes and all of that too. So that was great. The picture there too is Andrea. She is our paid summer teen intern, and she was and she has a little bit of work left with us, and she was in charge of the Teen Service Club during the day most of the time. She was fantastic. I wish we could have her all year round because she was just really wonderful to work with. So, and she's only a senior this year, so she's great. I can't wait to see what she ends up doing. The children's reading program, the total registrations were 1,367, 640 finishers. There were 2,664 logs turned in. There were, for mascot entries, there were 3,966. And then pom-pom entries, which was kids were invited to put a pom-pom in for every one book that they read this summer, and that was 3,376. So those were some fun statistics. And that is the end of my director's report.
I don't know if it was already touched on, but the volunteers that sat to do the summer reading program
Mhm.
to help with the turning in, that was
Mhm.
awesome.
That's our
That was-
teen service
yeah, that
volunteers.
was
Yeah.
So great, and
Yeah.
just thought really nice.
Good. It alleviated, there were, a few crinkles as there are anytime you're starting something new. But it really alleviated the children's desk too, who do such a mass amount of registrations. So yeah, that was good.
All right, moving on to Library Friends report.
Library Friends report. Oh, I did list on here new hires for the library, but I actually don't have anything to share about that yet. We're still waiting on a few pieces, so I don't have any announcements for that. Just wanted to say that since I had put that on the agenda. Library Friends reports. The Library Friends continue to really enjoy their space over at the annex. They're busy bringing in funds for the library through selling books online and in the lobby. Their area in the lobby is one of the areas that will be recarpeted soon. So on the 29th of August, we'll just move their stuff over to underneath the donor board in the lobby for a little while until we can because the shelves are actually bolted to the ground. So we'll have to get those taken out. And then after the new carpet goes in, the shelving has to go back in and get bolted in. So it might be about a week or so that they'll be over there, but they're doing well.
Great. And moving on to new business. like library policy review, surveillance policy.
All right. And Julia, do you have the surveillance policy as well?
Yeah, I read it. You sent that out, right?
Yes, I did. Great.
Okay, then I read that and I thought it was okay.
Okay. So all of this it had to go to to our city attorney first. So there were a few changes that were made.
Sorry, this is new, it's not an existing policy.
Correct. It's a brand new policy. This was something actually asked for from library staff because they felt that if somebody had asked for a video, which we wouldn't feel comfortable giving people from the public video, but there wasn't any policy that said that we could point to saying, actually, it's our library policy that, we don't do that. So, I looked at a couple of different policies and I cherry picked what I liked and then sent it to the attorney and then they made some changes and so it is to you. Are there any questions that you have about the surveillance policy?
I don't have any questions about like the substance of the policy. Very supportive of it. I did have just a few like technical edits.
Mhm.
Not that they
Perfect.
necessarily talk to, but now we're just give you the piece of paper.
Why don't you tell me that so I can note those and then if you are all willing to approve that, you can say approved with edits. Does that make sense?
At the bottom it says cell phones policy on the first page or on the footer.
Oh, thank you. It does, doesn't it? Well, you can see which one I.
I would have done the same thing. And these are nitpicky, but forgive me, I used to be an English teacher.
Uh-huh.
But there's a difference in the way ORS is represented on page 1 from how it's represented on page 2.
Oh,
There's a
yes.
dash. And then on page 2, it says Oregon's public records law, but it's Oregon public records law.
Perfect.
And I read this and reread it multiple times, so I don't know if I have it right, but I think it's contain images in that final sentence, not contains images. I
In
think it's
the,
referencing a plural, but it's a really wordy sentence, so when a request is made to inspect or copy recorded images that are exempt from disclosure under the Oregon Public Records Law
yes,
and contain images that are not exempt.
you are right.
Okay. And then I
Perfect.
guess I do have one that's not a technical. I'm just curious if you might say that the library shall make reasonable attempts to redact the exempt images.
Where are we on the first
On
page
that
or
last,
second?
sorry, on that very last sentence. In talking about what your staff will do, shall attempt, I don't know, when it comes to some of the requests and things like that. Reasonableness.
Oh, I
is
see
an
the
important thing to
sentence
call
right
out.
after that. Okay. I think reasonably makes sense to me. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. As you were saying that, I'm also realizing it didn't go past Amanda yet. She is usually my person who catches these things. Any other questions?
Do you have all the cameras up that you had hoped to?
I do. I am not feeling. I feel like the surveillance is good. So I'm not feeling like there's areas that are challenging that we don't have any video on. So yeah.
Is this more in response to any any person of the community coming to ask for it?
That's how it started out.
Yeah.
Is staff feeling like they didn't really know where they stood, but then also wanting to make sure that as a staff we're aware that this is something that's a tool. It's not something that we're I don't have anybody watching 24/7,
Sure.
It's a tool that's used for a couple different ways. One is to go back when there has been an issue to see kind of what happened. And that, doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. And then the other one is when we're upstairs, it's quite a bit of area that you don't have eyes on all the time. So then we can pull up the cameras on our reference desk too, to just be kind of like, give a general check on how things are going. And so, and there's no sound. So there's no,
Sure.
so there's, in that way, privacy is protected. You can't see anything that's on any computer screen, whether that's the public computers or the staff computers. So that's another way that privacy is protected. If someone is checking out a book, it's, the camera quality is pretty good, but the placement of them, you really wouldn't be able to tell what books they're checking out to. And so I think those privacy
So,
issues are important too.
This is video surveillance inside of the library.
There is both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere it references exterior too, doesn't it? Yeah, it's under surveillance after purpose. Staff work areas, parking lots, exterior grounds.
Since you touched on it a little with, like privacy as far as like the history of what books people have checked out,
Mm-hmm.
is that covered under privacy, a statute in the library? Or-
It is, and it's also covered in Oregon law as well. So right now, when you return a book, that information is not saved. So the book that you had out, that information, well, I should say, usually it's saved for 2 checkouts. So if there's an issue with the book, like torn pages or whatever, then we can figure out, who to talk to about that. But after that, that's completely gone. It's just not saved for our system. But if you, as personally, if you want to go in and turn on a feature on the library catalog under your library card, under your account, that says save my history, because people oftentimes do want to save their history of what they're reading to see. A lot of times people ask me to look it up to see if they've already read a particular book, especially if you read a lot of one author like James Patterson, who has 1.5 million books, So that is the way that's mostly used, but that is an opt-in feature, not an opt-out feature. So in that way, those records are being kept, but also I can't see that from the staff side. So that's only something that we can see if you're logged in on the public side of things as well.
But you've made an active choice.
Yeah. And I know sometimes people feel frustrated because they want it, but they haven't opted in yet, but it is because of privacy that it's an opt-in feature. So yeah, it's a good question.
I make a motion to accept the surveillance policy with edits. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Julia, did you hear that?
Oh, sorry.
There, now I'm unmuted. Yes, I heard all of that and I agree.
Okay, thank you. Since I have the presentation pulled up, I thought, oh my gosh, if the call dropped for you, I wouldn't have seen it. So great. Okay. Thank you.
Great. Moving on to library resource of the month.
Library resource of the month. All right, this is very exciting to me. Also because I like graphic novels. So I'm going to escape from the full screen here, Julia. And I just realized as I'm saying this is very anticlimactic now because I was going to pull it up for you on the screen so you could all see what this was like. But I did pull this directly from the library's website. So if you are on the library's website and you go to digital resources, Comics Plus is under there. And it is an app that you can download to your phone or you can read on a device. And on our website, we have the full collection linked, the teen collection linked, and the children's collection linked. So not only just with the links is what you'll be able to go to, but if you have a children's card, you will not be able to go to the full collection that includes adult books or teen books. But the teen collection, if you have a teen card, you can go to either the teen collection or the children's collection. And then if you have an adult card, you can go to any of that. So, but what I really like that's also different from Libby is that there are no holds, there is no wait list, and no limits of how many you can check out at a time. So it's a really great resource, especially because some of the comics they're coming out so fast. I just can't keep up with them with the library budget. So this is another way that we're able to do that. And this is paid for through CCRLS. So it's shared funds and we, get a better price because it's all of our libraries together. So that's something that the children's team at CCRLS was working on for a while. So very glad that that's here now.
How is it, and this is super meeting, so forgive me, but just like, how is it managed on the back end in terms of like with the publishers in a different way than Libby? With all the, you have to purchase so many books to be available yearly, but like, I mean, that's awesome.
Isn't it?
It's like any of them available at any time without a hold.
Yeah.
without a wait.
It's a different service model, and I am not sure how they were able to make that work.
Well, I love it.
Me too.
Let's do this.
Right? I wish we could do this for everything. Yeah,
Okay,
that's great. Any questions about any of that?
Okay, so next meeting, next steps.
Sorry, is this gonna be in the newsletter?
The resource of the month?
Yeah.
Yes, it has been in the newsletter, and we do have some other information about it around the library as well. One thing that we have not done yet that I think what I had asked staff is after summer reading was over because things were so busy. But what I am going to have is a QR code that's in the graphic novel section for each of the different for children's, for teens, and for adults, and that way that people can check out even more and go, right to those links if that's something that they're interested in. I think that will be probably more useful in the teen and adult sections since children don't have phones as often. So. Yeah.
Sorry, I'll be quiet.
No, it's okay. I was just looking at this too. Okay, next meeting and next steps. Looks like we will be interviewing.
So September is in September. So we'll
take questions for new applications and interviews possibly in October.
Yes, I did write it down there. Awesome. So in September, we are not doing interviews, but we are going to update any of the questions and talk about that as a group. And then in October, and then in September, you can set, what time you want to have interviews, do all of that. I did also note on there that the Newburgh Dundee School District has conferences at that time. Or on that day, because I didn't know how much that impacts Jessica, and I didn't know how much it would impact our people who are wanting to interview as well. So I think at the September meeting, it might be a good idea to figure out if there's another date that might work better for people or not. So.
And I'm gone that whole week.
And you're gone that week too? Okay. Yeah, so that will be, there will be more to figure out at that.
We're interviewing for when?
We are interviewing for Tim's position, right?
Yeah, I think December.
Yeah, December 31st is your last. And then interviewing for the student commissioner as well. And
And you've served all the terms that you are eligible.
Yeah, I finished somebody else's term,
Mm.
and then I didn't really want to talk about
we appreciate that very much.
No, it's been
Good.
Time for new
Um,
blood, fresh meat.
For the teen one, we've got our teen volunteers from the summer have been really fantastic. So that is definitely a way. Did I talk to Julia about this already?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So hoping that, between that and definitely, it will be published out to everybody else too, but hopeful that what I did need to check on, that's right, I was talking to Julia about this the other day. What I do need to check on is if there is an age restriction on this. Like, can middle schoolers serve too? How young? And if there isn't, then does the board want to feel like there needs to be an age restriction? And I don't know what that would look like. I've known, some very responsible sixth graders too. So it could
I'd
be,
just like to see somebody that's interested in, the library and serving and
right?
learning all of that. So,
Yeah,
Stick around too. I mean, I think
I
that's
know.
been a tough part.
It
of
is.
sort of how we've had to approach it. It's
Yeah.
just as soon as I feel like they start to get
Yes.
comfortable in the role, like then they go off to college and
Yeah.
leave town, and so.
Yeah.
are they restricted to one term, or can they?
They are not restricted to one term, but it is a one term,
A 1 year.
a 1 year term. Thank you. So they could choose to serve more. It's just we keep getting these fantastic people who go away to college. So
Younger would be better.
yeah, so in that way, that could be a bonus too.
Maybe the teen volunteers, did the bug get put in their ear?
Maybe we did. Let's see. Our teens librarian Ruth did send out a text. I think a text and an email to the teen volunteers before the summer to see if anybody was interested in that, and didn't get anybody at that time interested. But also, I wonder, after people have been at the library for a summer and they've volunteered, and maybe there might be some interest now. So I'll be interested to hear too if Jessica has some insight, being in the schools, of how we also might approach that too. Also wondered if we could, what would it be like to do have a flyer that goes up at the high school with a QR code, or maybe having a paper applications in the teen area instead of online applications, making those more available might be easier for some teens too, if since not everyone has phones. So things like that.
Meeting adjourned?
All right, meeting adjourned at
Okay.
6:40 p.m.